Would request everyone to please rise for the national anthem.
जन गण मन अधिनायक जय हे भारत भाग्य विधाता पंजाब सिंध गुजरात मराठा द्राविड उत्कल गंगा विंध्य हिमाचल यमुना गंगा उच्चल जलधि तरंगा तव शुभ नामे जागे तव शुभ आशीष मांगे गाहे तव जय गाथा जन गण मंगलदायक जय हे भारत भाग्य विधाता जय हे जय हे जय हे जय 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 हे
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. A very warm welcome to all of you to the 27th Annual National Conference of the Indian Association of Bronchology, BronchoCon 2025. Ladies and gentlemen, please join me in extending a heartfelt welcome to the Honorable Vice President of India, Shri Jagdeep Dhankar ji, with a huge round of applause. Today, we are also delighted to welcome Dr. Sudesh Dhankar ji, a postgraduate in economics from Banasthali. She is a passionate advocate for child education, community upliftment, and organic farming. Ma'am, your work in the social sector continues to inspire, and we thank you for joining us this evening. BronchoCon 2025 marks the 27th chapter in the journey of Indian Association of Bronchology, a premier platform that brings together practitioners, innovators, and policy leaders dedicated to the advancement of bronchoscopy and interventional pulmonology in India. To officially open this year's conference, may I now invite the Honorable Vice President of India, Shri Jagdeep Dhankar ji, to kindly do us the honor of lighting the ceremonial lamp. May I also invite the esteemed dignitaries, Dr. Sudesh Dhankar ji, Dr. R.P. Meena, President IAB, Dr. Amita Nene, Secretary IAB, and Dr. Vivek Nangia, Organizing Chairman and Vice President IAB, for the lamp lighting ceremony. Can we have a round of applause, please? I would now like to request Dr. Nangia to please present the memento to Honorable Vice President as our token of gratitude. Dr. R.P. Meena to also present a shawl to the Honorable Vice President, and Dr. Amita Nene to present a shawl to Dr. Sudesh Dhankar ji, please. To formally begin the evening, I would also like to now invite the man behind the show, Dr. Vivek Nangia, Organizing Chairman of BronchoCon 2025 and the Vice President of the Indian Association for Bronchology, to welcome and deliver the welcome address. Dr. Nangia.
Honorable Vice President of India, Sir, Shri Jagdeep Dhankar ji, Honorable Vice President's gracious spouse, Madam Dr. Sudesh Dhankar ji, President IAB Dr. R.P. Meena, Secretary IAB Dr. Amita Nene, distinguished guests, respected faculty, dear colleagues, and my dearest friends. It fills me with immense pride and profound gratitude to stand before you today as the organizing chairman of BronchoCon 2025, the 27th National Congress of the Indian Association for Bronchology. On behalf of the entire IAB and the organizing committee, it's indeed my privilege to extend a very warm welcome to each and every one of you. On this momentous occasion, we are deeply humbled and immensely grateful to have amidst us a towering personality, a beacon of leadership, and the pride of our country, Honorable Vice President Shri Jagdeep Dhankar ji. His presence lends unparalleled significance to this occasion. Sir, your commitment to progress and your keen interest in the advancement of healthcare in our nation serve as a tremendous source of inspiration for all of us. Your gracious presence today will undoubtedly energize our discussions and deliberations in the remaining part of the conference. We equally privileged to extend a very warm and respectful welcome to the Honorable Vice President's gracious spouse, Madam Dr. Sudesh Dhankar ji, whose presence adds warmth and elegance to this evening's celebrations. This year's BronchoCon marks not just an annual congregation of specialists, it represents a shared vision for innovation, collaboration, and advancement in the field of bronchology and respiratory care. Our theme, Beyond the Scope, Evolving Frontiers in Pulmonary Procedures, truly encapsulates the dynamic and rapidly advancing landscape of our field. At this conference, we bring together over 1,000 delegates from across the country and around the world and experts from diverse domains: bronchoscopy, mediastinoscopy, interventional pulmonology, and thoracoscopy, critical care, and beyond, who are sharing their latest research, techniques, and insights, and above all, the Indian innovations. It will be a privilege of listening to leading experts, participating in thought-provoking discussions, witnessing groundbreaking research that pushes the boundary what is currently possible in bronchology and interventional pulmonology. I encourage each one of you here to actively participate, to network, form new friends, and forge collaboration that will undoubtedly contribute to the advancement of our field and, most importantly, to the improvement of our care of our patients. We're especially excited about the hands-on simulation program, which was designed to nurture the next generation of leaders in respiratory medicine and ran a full house as a part of the pre-conference workshop yesterday, exactly how we expected it to be. BronchoCon 2025 is a testament to the dedication and tireless efforts of countless individuals. Behind the scenes, a committed team of doctors supporting me, including Dr. Amina, who has been a backbone of this entire arrangement despite her ill health, Dr. Naveen, who's been managing the show for us, Dr. Manu, Ankur, Payal, and so many others who have been tirelessly working for these last few months to make this BronchoCon a grand success. I take this moment to sincerely thank each and every one of them here. To our partners, sponsors, and supporting institutions, we are truly grateful. And to all our faculty and delegates, I urge you to make the most of this experience. Let us remember that every innovation and every protocol we discuss here has the potential to touch and transform lives. I would like to once again express my heartfelt gratitude to the Honorable Vice President of India for inaugurating this event and being with us this evening. And I wish you all a productive and enriching conference. Let's leave BronchoCon 2025 inspired and equipped to embrace the evolving frontiers in pulmonary medicine. Jai Hind.
Thank you, Dr. Nangia, for this warm and inspiring words. Now I would like to request Dr. R.P. Meena to please come on stage to address this august gathering.
Very welcome and very good evening, all of you. Respected Sri Jagdeep Dhankar Sahib, the Honorable Vice President of India, Madam Dr. Sudesh Dhankar, and dignitaries sitting on the dais and off the dais. I welcome you all in this August function of inauguration of 27th National Conference of Bronchology in the capital city of India. The Indian Association for Bronchology is doing excellent work in the field of respiratory medicine. Our association is organizing the multiple workshops at various cities of the country to disseminate the skill and the newer innovation in the field of bronchology and interventional pulmonology. Sir, I would like to bring to your kind notice that our country has now become one of the advanced countries in the world in the field of the interventional pulmonology. During last 5-6 years, there has been a crucial demand for the basic procedure of bronchoscopy in the smaller cities of the country. And IAB with its new horizon has been organizing multiple CMEs and the interventional bronchoscopic workshop throughout the country, and there is a tremendous response so far. This has created a lot of enthusiasm and will to learn an art of the bronchoscopy among the newer pulmonologists of the India. With the implementation of newer interventional procedures and the publication of research work in the various national and the international journals by our esteemed researchers have brought our country as one of the best global advanced countries in the field of the pulmonology. Our work has also been appreciated and endorsed by the multiple renowned international bronchologists, and I am proud to inform you that many of the stalwarts are also attending and sharing their skill in this conference. I sincerely congratulate Dr. Vivek Nangia and organizing chair, and Dr. Amina Mawasir, organizing secretary, and the entire team of BronchoCon 27 for the Herculean task they have completed so far. And I am confident that the remaining conference will also be rich in the scientific deliberation. I am sanguine that their discussion and the presentation here in the BronchoCon will be enlightening and inspiring. I look forward to the valuable contribution that each of you will bring to our gathering, and we can work together toward the advancing art of the bronchology in India. Before I closing, I would like to express my sincere thanks to all the members of the Governing Council, life members, fellows, delegates, and all awardees for their contribution to the IAB. With these words, I express my heartfelt thanks to Sri Jagdeep Dhankar Sahib, Honorable Vice President of the India, for sparing his valuable time to bless us on this auspicious occasion. Long live IAB. Jai Hind. Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Meena, for those words and for enlightening us. And now for a truly momentous announcement: the launch of a dedicated scientific journal that will serve as a cornerstone for research and innovation in this field. To formally launch this journal, may I once again invite our chief guest, Honorable Vice President, to do the honors. Huge round of applause, please. Thank you so much, sir, for launching this significant initiative and for your continued encouragement of the scientific advancement in healthcare. With that, we move towards the highlight of the evening, the moment all of us have been waiting for. It is now my absolute privilege to invite the Honorable Vice President of India, Shri Jagdeep Dhankar ji, to address this distinguished gathering with the keynote address. Sir.
Good evening, all of you. Dr. R.P. Meena, President, Indian Association for Bronchology, Dr. Vivek Nangia, Vice President, Indian Association for Bronchology, and Organizing Chairman, BronchoCon 2025. It's always a pleasure to receive another Vice President. Dr. Amita Nene, Secretary, Indian Association for Bronchology. I must make a minor correction. My wife is PhD in economics. She was introduced as being postgraduate. For medical reasons, peace at home is vital. Her DNA is reflective of enormous capacity to deal with a husband who can go the wrong way anytime. Distinguished audience, this conference, BronCon 2025, has come not a day too soon, because it addresses issues that are writing on the wall, issues of huge contemporaneous relevance. It gives me immense pleasure. I take it as absolute honor to inaugurate the 27th annual conference of the Indian Association for Bronchology. The Institute is known for its hallmark excellence in respiratory medicine and innovation. I am sure the deliberations would be extremely fruitful. There will be ideation, exchange of ideas, and interaction amongst people who are dealing with this menace to humanity that is ballooning by the day. BronCon, according to me, is bound to be crucible of ideas, redefining the future of pulmonary care in India and beyond. And this is gaining urgency. This is gaining paramountcy. This is gaining absolute attention. With over hundreds of brilliant minds dedicated to respiratory care, I am reminded that each breath, that fundamental act of living that defines that we are living, is what your profession protects. You are protecting our lives. Your theme, very well thought out. Beyond the scope, evolving frontiers in pulmonary procedures. This demonstrates remarkable foresight because the issues are known to one and all. Everyone is concerned, and we live in a city where this dominates our mindset for months together. We know the evil consequences of this issue not being addressed. It is cancerous for society, much beyond COVID, if we analyze the loss for our children, for our elderly citizens, and for our youth, apart from those who are before me. The future of pulmonary care lies at the intersections of medicine, technology, environmental science, public policy, and community engagement. All are vital to address this problem. Gone are the days when either education or solutions could be by stand-alone institutions. There has to be concerted effort. There has to be convergence of all stakeholders. They have to be on the same page to find resolution of a problem which is diagnosed by everyone in a city like Delhi and beyond. Pulmonologists and bronchologists have been silent sentinels of public health moving to front line during, and who knows better than me, as Governor State of West Bengal, COVID-19, what a challenge it was. I salute your tireless efforts across clinics, ICUs, labs, classrooms, and policy-making arenas. When the challenge was so huge, the humanity, in a non-discriminatory fashion, came to face this menace, home to 1/6 of humanity, land of Atharved, showed the way. We could easily find light at end of a tunnel and also show light to about 100 other countries that are ever beholden to us. Indian pulmonology has transformed through growing clinical expertise, public awareness, and technological adoption. India, distinguished audience, is a land which is witnessing at the moment accessibility to technology, adaptability to technology, and technology delivering for the people at large. But in this field also, much has to be negotiated. As I just indicated a while ago, our ancient texts, particularly Atharved, envisions health as a perfect balance of body, mind, and spirit. It recognizes breath as pran. If it goes, pran doesn't exist in us. The vital life force connecting individual wellness with environmental harmony. The importance of health can be visualized. A talented person, a person with passion, mission, ability for execution, for public causes, can be severely handicapped on account of health not being in order. So such a well-meaning person whose commitment is not in doubt, passion is on the right path, mission is for people at large, execution ability is recognized, he himself becomes a person in need, and therefore health is all important. Our traditional wisdom teaches that respiratory health is inseparable from nature's equilibrium. Reckless exploitation of nature. We are its trustees and we have become its owners. And we are exploiting not for optimal need, but for our greed. A time for all of us to think. Our fiscal prowess, our financial power cannot determine how we will use these resources, which are meant not only for individuals having means, but have to be utilized equitably for one and all. It is time for us to go back to our wisdom and knowledge. That is our treasure, recognized by the globe. We have to see indigenous practices of seasonal living. Our elderly people always said, use vegetables which are being grown around the same time. Use fruits which are there around the same time. Forest conservation and dietary wisdom align remarkably with modern preventive medicine. We therefore have to go back to our roots. No time is better than this, because might of Bharat is being realized, reckoned and recognized by the global powers, by the global fraternity. And it is in this context, I remind the distinguished audience, the time-tested science of yoga and pranayama. These offer profound solutions. But imagine, Indian Prime Minister takes this vision to the global community, makes an appeal to United Nations in the shortest time. Largest number of nations converge to support it. And we have now International Yoga Day. The population on the planet is uniformly benefiting thereby. Then we have techniques like Anulom Vilom, Bastrika, Kapalbhati. And when I see these being demonstrated on television, I find many people instantly want to take to these. But I will appeal particularly to our youth, impressionable minds, to learn it once for all. If you learn the technique once, your approach will be stable, sustained, not tentative. These afford not solutions, but are recipe for longevity. They enhance immunity. They generate us stress-free. Our vitality goes up. The quotient of happiness is enhanced. This will obviously lead to higher productivity. Modern research has validated that our ancient practices are scientific. Our ancient practices are extremely potent. They afford precautionary, preventive solutions. The integration of traditional wisdom into modern scientific research is need of the time, and I am sure those dealing with contemporary medicine research will address this issue. The surge in interventional pulmonology enables targeted life-enhancing interventions. Deploying these at district level healthcare centers could accelerate our national tuberculosis elimination program. If metros are fully equipped, that is not a solution. We have to reach out up to district level, both in terms of availability and affordability. While lung cancer remains a leading cause of cancer mortality, early detection technologies not only offer hope, but confidence that the problem can be addressed. We must expand from the practice of medicine to the reach of medicine, ensuring, as I said earlier, affordability and accessibility. Fortunately, the government, by affirmative policies, has done much in this direction. But it is the health and mindset of people of a nation that define the nation. And health defines the mindset. If we believe and want everyone to believe that our mindset must be nationalistic, we must always keep nation first. No interest whatsoever, personal, partisan, or fiscal, can have overriding impact over national interest. But then that requires the first aspect. Consider the lived realities. And now I seek your attention. Look at the plight of children who are close to industrial areas. Look at those tender souls. The elderly exposed to biomass smoke. The farmer faces prairie or crop burning issues. The factory worker inhaling chemicals, dust. Invisible citizens whose lives are shaped by the air we breathe. I still recall a person in another country handling health department says, a sick child is assurance to the doctors for their work and pharmaceutical companies for survival. We don't want that scenario. It will be too much for us to go for air purifiers. Selective solutions in democracy do not reflect well for democracy. Solutions have to be for one and all. because equality is the hallmark of democracy. And we have equality when inequitous situations are contained in a systemic manner. As indicated in one report, just a year ago, in February 2024, respiratory diseases continue India's largest disease category and accounting for 1/6 of our population. Just imagine what a staggering figure it is. Asthma rises among children. COPD robs adults of productivity. Tuberculosis persists. And tuberculosis is a situation that affects the entire family. Fortunately, now the treatment is there. There was a time when there was no treatment. So what is more fundamental is diagnosis. Early diagnosis, because treatments emanate easily. The psychological toll, just imagine someone suffering from TB, someone suffering from cancer. The psychological toll, not on the only patient, but on the family's use. Fortunately, now there is hand-holding for physical part of it. But then also, much needs to be done. Then there is stigmatization. Rather than hand-holding, we keep to distance ourselves out of ignorance. Environmental factors include, and who doesn't know it, air pollution. Just reflect today. Air pollution index in this city. You will be amazed. When you look at the desirable index, and we are getting away from it. But what is concerning is, we are not serious about it. Like climate change, existential challenge. We don't have another planet to live. But everyone thinks it is anybody else's job. The job is of one and all. We are cliffhanging. We need to be awake. Then, apart from air pollution, vehicular emissions. We don't pool our resources. We would like to show our wealth by having as many cars as we can have. We have to find a systemic solution. Thankfully, our public transport system is being strengthened. We are falling back on alternative automobile culture. But let's do it while there is time. Human behavior, what we use, our level of nutrition, and suddenly a new term has emerged in the last few decades. Lifestyle diseases. That is something which is correctionable at the level of individual, at the level of the family, at the level of the society. The problems are compounded because they get in a stream, making life of individual difficult. But I am not in despair. I am full of hope, optimism and confidence that when there is convergence of minds like yours, the minds that will ideate, the minds that will engage in research, and let me caution you, research has to be authentic. Research must be connected with ground result. Research is not meant for oneself or self. Research is not to be for the self. Research is not assimilation. Research has to be real research that not only the nation but countries beyond us can take benefit of it. And fortunately in our country there is a revolution of green energy. It is dotting our rural landscape massively. But we need to do more on this. We need accelerated phasing out of old vehicles. People have to understand that an old vehicle has to be discarded for reasons that concern our health. Merely because an old vehicle is functional on the road does not reflect on its roadworthiness. That has to be done. I said public transportation. We must take pride in using public transportation. Our ego should not come in between. In many countries this is done. And here also, the safest, fastest, surest way to reach an airport is through a metro. But that is something we need to make a habit. Look at our urban lands, water bodies, forests, and tree cover. In our Vedic culture, we revered them. We worship them. Now we are using it for our gain. We are destroying our respiratory system that nature has given to us. People go for indoor plants, air purifiers out of necessity, not recognizing that this is indicative of a deep malaise that is permeating in the society. Your minuscule solution is temporary for you. You have to find systemic solution. Systemic solution is one that improves the scenario for one and all. I deeply appreciate the medical community in our country. Your role transcends healing, encompassing innovation, advocacy, education, and inspiration. And when we faced pandemic, this was demonstrated. People came with their own ideas, their own kits, and they were saved from COVID. I therefore appeal to all of you that we must bridge medicine with data science, environmental studies, engineering, and artificial intelligence. Artificial intelligence, or let us put it in the broad term, disruptive technologies. These have entered our home, our way of life, our workplace, our research centers. Disruptive technologies are much beyond in impact of industrial revolutions. But the challenges have to be converted into opportunities. According to me, distinguished audience, it is a myth that this technology, when employed, will cut into human resource employability. No. We have to tame the technology. We have to use it for our advantage, and I'm sure you will work out for it. You are working for a robust environment for us all. Your deliberations are bound to be absolutely wholesome for all of us. Let us resolve on this day to build a future where every citizen breathes easily, breathes clean air, lives longer, and dreams bigger. Health is the first factor that deprives happiness. May your deliberations be fruitful and transformative. Sarve bhavantu sukhinaya, sarve santu niramaya is something we have got from our scriptures to be practiced. I am grateful for the Vice President here, who is also Chairman of BronCocon 2025, Dr. Vivek Nangia. Also Dr. R.P. Meena, the President, and the Secretary, Dr. Amita Nene for affording me this opportunity to interact with brilliant minds, minds that have passion without personal interest, a mission that is not selective, and execution that is uniform, that is helping one and all. Vasudeva Kutumbakam. Thank you.
Thank you so much, sir, for your profound words and for inspiring all of us sitting here today. May I request everyone to please rise for the national anthem.
जनगण मन अधिनायक जय हे भारत भाग्य विधाता पंजाब सिंध गुजरात मराठा द्राविड उत्कल गंगा विंध्य हिमाचल यमुना गंगा उच्चल जलधि तरंगा तव शुभ नामे जागे तव शुभ आशीष मांगे गाहे तव जय गाथा जन गण मंगलदायक जय हे